In July 2020, then Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell filed a libel lawsuit against Attorney General Claudette Joseph, the then Public Relations Officer of the now ruling National Democratic Congress. Dr. Mitchell, who is now the opposition leader of the New National Party, accused her of making false statements against him in connection with the failed shrimp farm project, for which foreign investors were allegedly being investigated for the disappearance of $52.4 million from the project. He claims that Attorney Joseph deliberately took out of context certain statements he made in his former capacity as Prime Minister in 2017 at the groundbreaking ceremony in St. Mark to launch the project. Dr. Mitchell was previously represented by attorney Nigel Stewart, who successfully obtained the default judgment in January 2021. He has retained new counsel in attorney Jerry Edwin, who notes that his client has conceded that the default judgment was improperly obtained.
It is not merely that a lawsuit which is brought claiming someone defamed another person will simply proceed to a default judgment because the other side does not respond in time. That is not what the law says. The law says that when you apply for a default judgment, it has to be set out in such a structure that it complies with the Eastern Caribbean rules of civil procedure. In this case, the procedure was not followed.
According to attorney Edwin, the issue came to a head after attorney Lisa Taylor, who is representing attorney Joseph in the matter, observed that the procedure followed to obtain the default judgment did not comply with the law.
I had a conference with Dr. Mitchell, and he agreed in looking at it. He doesn't want to waste the court's time. While he will not agree that anyone should defame his character, he is also of the view that matters should proceed in the proper form that they should. And so I was instructed to concede a point in which the judge agreed. In fact, the judge said that he is pleased because he would, after examining the papers, take the point that the default judgment should be set aside.
The matter came up before Master of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Honorable Alvin Pariag Singh, who sat at the St. George's No. 2 High Court on Thursday. It will now proceed to a case management conference on the substantive case, in which Attorney Joseph is accused of defaming Dr. Mitchell when she alleged that he was an investor in the failed shrimp farm project, which promised to create about 300 jobs for residents of St. Mark. The project, now promised job creation, never materialized. Attorney Edwin said the new development in the case highlights the need for more public education of the law.
I think there is merit in seeing that time is not wasted in our courts, whether it's a civil matter or a criminal matter. I think also it is important that the public understands the processes and the procedures, the substantive law, as well as the rules of procedure in all our courts. I think that public education of the law is something we need to have more of.
For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.